We're always told that our ego is the enemy, right? It's this thing we have to fight, to push down, to suppress. But what if we've been looking at it all wrong? Today, we're going to dive into a really powerful idea from Ego Evren ve Hikmet Yansemalari, which flips that whole script. It suggests our ego isn't something to defeat, but actually a tool to be understood and mastered.
So let's really just pause and think about this for a second. Imagine your ego isn't the villain of your story. Imagine it's a key, one that you were specifically given for a purpose. Honestly, just thinking of it that way, well, it can change everything. So let's see where this idea takes us.
Okay, so our journey here starts with a whole new way of framing the ego. We're not looking at it as a flaw, but as a profound responsibility. You could even call it a sacred trust.
So this perspective begins with this idea of the self. And what is the self? Well, it's described as a perfect, unlimited soul. But to have a human experience, this perfect soul gets paired up with a limited body here in this limited world. You can almost picture it like this incredible, powerful main character starting a new mission in a really challenging new environment.
And for this big mission, the self isn't just sent in empty-handed. Nope, it's given a really powerful, totally essential tool. And that tool is the ego. Now, what's so important here is how it's framed. It's not a bug, it's not a mistake, it's a trust, something given to us with the expectation that we'll use it wisely. And this right here is where the central challenge of our lives really comes into focus. We've basically got two paths in front of us. On one side, you have being credible in trust. That's using the ego the way it was intended. And on the other, breaching of trust, which is misusing it. The bottom line is that choice is always, always ours to make. Okay, so if we're meant to use this tool correctly, how in the world do we actually do that? Well, it seems like the very first step is learning to see the world around us in a completely new way. To make that shift, we have to adopt something called the other indicative viewpoint. And what's so cool about this idea is that it suggests nothing, literally nothing, exists just for its own sake. It's a way of looking at anything, an object, an event, even a feeling. And instead of just seeing the thing itself, you ask, okay, what is this pointing to? What greater purpose is this serving? So basically, the entire universe becomes this giant book of signs. A tree isn't just a tree, it's a sign of life, of growth, of provision. The rain isn't just water falling from the sky, it's a sign of renewal and cleansing. When you start to see things this way, you move past just a surface-level existence, and you start to connect with a much, much deeper meaning. Let's make this super practical with a brilliant, really simple example. Just think about your own teeth for a second. Why are they shaped the way they are? The ones in the front, the incisors, they're sharp, like little blades for cutting. And the ones in the back, the molars, are flat and broad, perfect for grinding. You think that's just some random coincidence? Of course not. Their very specific design is a sign that points directly to their purpose, which is to efficiently process food for us. See? That's the other indicative viewpoint right there in your own mouth. The design itself tells you the story of its meaning. And that example just perfectly sets up our next step. Because once you start seeing purpose in the design, you're naturally led to a pretty profound realization. This leads you on this natural, kind of intellectual journey that happens in 3 steps. It all starts with simple observation, just noticing the incredible design in something, like our teeth. Then comes understanding. You start to grasp the specific purpose behind that design. And the final logical leap, you connect that intentional, purposeful design back to a designer. This whole idea of purpose gets reinforced by this one powerful observation. In nature, there is no waste. Everything has a function, a role to play, a purpose. This incredible efficiency, that in itself becomes another huge sign pointing towards an intelligent, purposeful plan behind it all. So, how do we get good at this, right? How do we actually master this art of reading signs and understanding their purpose? Well, turns out there's a specific tool just for that. The key that unlocks this entire process, this whole way of seeing the world, is wisdom. But listen, this isn't about just passively knowing a bunch of facts. It's an active pursuit of knowledge, a constant effort to understand the meanings behind all the signs that are all around us all the time. And this isn't some new age idea, not by a long shot. This quote from the 17th century thinker Niyazi Mısri shows that for hundreds of years, the path to becoming a complete or perfected human being has been understood as the path of seeking wisdom. And really, this isn't some niche hobby. It's presented as a universal human drive. Think about it. Thinkers, psychologists, scholars, sages, what do they all have in common? This relentless quest for knowledge about who we are and what our place is in the universe. Okay, this brings us to the final stage of this journey, the culmination. This is where all these different pieces we've been talking about, the ego, the signs, and wisdom, this is where they all come together. And here's where it all connects. The ultimate goal isn't to get rid of the ego, to destroy it. It's to use it as the key it was always meant to be, to unlock the door that leads back to our original, noble nature. This really represents a fundamental shift, a total transformation. We might start out as the limited self, where our focus is on the temporary, physical things of this world. But by using our ego correctly, by using it as that key, we can become the noble spirit, shifting our focus toward the eternal source of all these signs, the Creator. And the reward for actually doing this, for honoring the trust of the ego and completing the mission, it's profound. It's not just some promise for the distant future, it's a state of deep happiness and fulfillment that starts right here, right now, and continues on into the hereafter. So we'll leave you with this thought to carry around with you. If the universe really is full of signs, all of them pointing to a deeper purpose, what messages is it sending you today? What are you seeing?